What's up, guys? Welcome to Tattooed Relic, featuring me, the random guy on the internet that you don't know but should definitely keep watching. I am hanging out, smoking inside the house, which I usually don't do, but that's another story for another time. What we're doing today is taking a look at the original 1985 Robert Zemeckis film Back to the Future, which was released 35 years ago this past weekend. I created this channel about a year ago, but until very recently I didn't really do anything with it. I was waiting to get some semblance of reasonable lighting and a reasonable camera and a reasonable microphone. I have now pretty much accomplished that. Back when I created the channel, I promised a friend of mine that once I got all of those things, my first proper film review would be on this particular movie, and I like to think of myself as a man of my word, so that's where we are. So we're going to jump right into it very quickly. Before we do, I do want to remind you guys this is a new channel for me. It is still a learning process. I'm still not even far enough along to be using editing software, and I do not script my videos because I don't want to come across like a robot. So, what you're seeing here is as it is recorded. It will improve over time. But the point is, if you like what you see here and you want to see more content, please help support this channel by taking a minute to like, subscribe, and by all means share this video across social media. That way it'll get more eyeballs on it. Get some word of mouth going, and that's the quickest way for this channel to grow. And I'm relying on you guys to help me with that, if you like what you're watching. With all of that being said, let's jump right into it. Again, this is Back to the Future, 1985. This is a brilliant movie in almost every aspect. Beginning with the writing, storytelling, the casting is perfect, the directing is outstanding, set design is outstanding, sound design is outstanding. As a matter of fact, in advance of doing this, I looked into it because I didn't know, and I have to say I was not surprised to read that this film actually won an Oscar for sound, because the sound in this movie is incredible. The intro to this movie, in fact, it was almost like Zemeckis and the rest of the production crew got together and said, hey, let's send a message to Pink Floyd. You guys over in England think you did a good job, did something innovative and impressive with your intro to Time from Dark Side of the Moon. Hold our beers. And they went from there. And the intro to this movie is even more impressive than that, because they also incorporated the sounds of machinery and all of that with the clocks. It was brilliant. These films are too complex for me to get into elaborate breakdowns of the films, because if I did that, each one of these videos would be almost as long as the movie. And I will be doing separate videos for all three movies. And when I get done with that, I'm going to wrap everything up with a ranking video. And just a general wrap-up video. And I'm hoping to knock that out between today and tomorrow. I think probably the highest praise I can give this movie is to let you guys know that I am now way behind schedule on doing my videos. And the reason for that is because I sat down at 9:30 last night. My plan was concrete. I was going to watch this movie. I was going to come in here, put together a YouTube review, upload it to YouTube, and then I was going to spend all day today watching parts 2 and 3 and doing videos for those. Well, the funny thing is, by the time I got to the end of this film last night, I didn't want to make a review video. I wanted to watch part 2, and that's what I did. And then when I got to the end of part 2, I wanted to watch part 3, and that's what I did. So I ended up being awake until the wee hours of the morning, watching this entire trilogy, and I got about 5 hours of sleep last night, so it's been a great day, and I expect much of the same tomorrow because I got a lot of catching up to do on my videos. The acting performances in this movie are outstanding. Christopher Lloyd, I think, is awesome. I think this is probably his best material, this trilogy. Like a lot of you out there, I'm a big Seinfeld fan. And for my money, Michael Richards' portrayal of Kramer is basically a ripoff of Christopher Lloyd's character of Jim from the 70s sitcom Taxi. Just done in a more over-the-top way. I've never heard Michael Richards acknowledge that, but that's my take on it, viewing it. And there's nothing wrong with that, I'm just saying. Christopher Lloyd is he's awesome. He's a great physical actor, especially with his facial expressions and everything. He's amazing. His line delivery is great. And then there's Michael J. Fox. For those of you that saw my top 20 actors video, you might remember that I mentioned in my discussion of Michael J. Fox that one of the things that impresses me the most about him is the fact that right now, this guy is dealing with Parkinson's, and it's getting worse and worse by the year. But not only did he not walk away from acting, but just a few years ago, in the TV show The Good Wife, he took his real life nightmare of Parkinson's that he's dealing with, and he turned that into comedy, and he made it work. Because in that show, his character is an unscrupulous attorney also suffering from Parkinson's, and he uses that to his advantage. He uses it to manipulate people and play on their sympathies and everything, and then totally take advantage of them and shaft them. And I just think it takes a lot of personal character for somebody going through that in real life to turn that into comedy when there's actually nothing at all funny about it. As a matter of fact, his character on that show probably would have been considered offensive were it not for the fact that the actor is actually dealing with it in real life. But that's just amazing. Michael J. Fox, his comedic timing is brilliant. His screen presence is amazing. And the brilliant thing about him, like so few actors, is whatever he's doing, whether it's comedy or drama, whatever he's doing, he makes it look so easy and so natural when he's in front of the camera. And you totally buy into whatever he's doing. very quickly, for anyone who has not seen this film, number one, what the hell's wrong with you? And number two, this is a spoiler discussion, so if you haven't seen the movie, I would suggest that you stop this video, go watch the movie, then come back here. I'll just give you a brief rundown of the plot. Michael J. Fox is Marty McFly. He's a high school kid that, for some reason that is never explained, is friends with this totally eccentric, disgraced scientist who, although he's a scientist, he doesn't seem to be very good at inventing anything that actually works, which is a running gag throughout the whole movie. But anyway, Marty is friends with Doc Brown, who is Christopher Lloyd's character. At the very beginning of the movie, Doc Brown calls Marty on the telephone, asks Marty to meet him in a mall parking lot, because it turns out Doc Brown has finally successfully created a time machine that he made from a DeLorean. So they meet up, and in the middle of Doc Brown explaining how the DeLorean works and everything, he mentions, by the way, the fact that the DeLorean runs on plutonium, which was stolen from Libyan terrorists who hired Doc Brown to create a bomb. He ripped them off. He stole their plutonium. He gave them a fake bomb. The Libyans track him down and open fire on him and Marty. Marty escapes in the DeLorean, but in the process of doing that, he inadvertently blasts himself back to 1955. He is naturally confused and freaking out and wondering how the hell he's going to get back to where he belongs. And as things begin to unfold, he bumps into his parents one by one as high school kids. And in a very bizarre thing that I can't imagine anyone saw coming at the time, one of the key elements that runs throughout this film is sort of this reverse Oedipal thing where Marty's mom, as a high school girl, has the hots for Marty and wants to roll around in the sheets with Marty. And of course, Marty's freaking out. Marty thinks she's hot, but he knows, this is his mother. He can't sleep with her. He may as well kill himself if he does that. He'd never be able to live with himself. But he struggles with that throughout the movie. He's just totally freaked out about the whole thing. And that is just so funny. And hey, young Leah Thompson looks pretty damn good. So I give Marty points for that. He proved Freud wrong. Anyway, so Marty is in this conundrum. He's stuck in the 50s. He has to get back to where he belongs. But the only way he can do that is to make sure that his parents meet each other, fall in love, have kids, and so on and so forth. Otherwise, he's going to cease to exist. So that's how the rest of the movie plays out. It's him trying to get his parents together. And his dad is, of course, played by the legendary Crispin Glover. That guy is just phenomenal. One of the weirdest people that ever walked the earth. But he puts it to such good use on screen. Marty eventually succeeds. His parents get together and everything. He gets back to where he belongs. Mission accomplished, movie over, blah, 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 blah. Well, not really, because when he gets back to where he belongs, things are a little different. Because now, all of a sudden, instead of Biff being the bully who terrorizes his dad, Biff is now this sniveling weakling who works for his dad. And Doc shows up in the final scene. He's got the time machine again. He has gone forward in the future, and he sees that there's a problem with Marty's kids with his girlfriend. Major problems. So Doc wants Marty to get in the time machine again and go into the future and try to fix things, setting up the same thing. It was smart of the filmmakers to leave things in open-ended, but as I understand it, they had no intention of making a sequel. But I guess they at least had the foresight to say, hey, we may as well leave it open-ended, because who the hell knows? Maybe this movie's going to turn out to be a box office smash, and we can cash in, make a sequel. And of course, that's what ended up happening. They ended up making 2 sequels. And I will be covering both of those very shortly. So that's going to do it. I don't want these videos to run on for a long time, so I'm going to wrap things up. Let me know what you think in the comments below. One final thought I will say is, as a musician, I appreciate the fact that while, yes, in the dance scene when Marty's on stage playing Johnny B. Good and all that, it's pretty clear that he's miming his way through some of the fretwork. But if you watch his right hand, it's clear that he knows how to play guitar. Michael J. Fox knows how to play guitar in real life. And I thought it was refreshing to see that. And I don't know why it doesn't happen more often. That absolutely drives me bananas when I see movies where you have scenes where a band is performing on stage, and everybody on stage, it's clear to anyone, any viewer who is an actual musician, it's clear that what they're seeing on screen is a collection of people who have absolutely no idea what they're doing. Maybe it's a union thing, I don't know. But if you're going to have extras that are just performing as a band in a scene, in a film, I don't know why you can't bring in actual musicians for that, who can actually play what they're supposed to be playing. So it was refreshing to see that. And that's going to do it. I will see you very soon with my review for part 2. In the meantime, once again, like, subscribe, share this video, and I will talk to you guys either later tonight or tomorrow with part 2. Cheers.